Olá, estamos no ar com mais um Enzima Live Show, o nosso programa bissemanal aqui no canal da Pluri, onde a gente recebe profissionais da indústria do esporte, do entretenimento, para falar sobre inovação, tecnologia, mundo digital e mundo das startups. E antes de eu apresentar o nosso convidado especialíssimo de hoje, só lembrar a vocês que essas nossas conversas viram podcasts nas principais plataformas de podcasts, então Spotify, Deezer, Google Podcast. Se vocês não conseguiram acompanhar aqui pelo YouTube ou preferem acompanhar nessas plataformas, elas ficam disponíveis por lá. Hoje, como eu falei, convidado especialíssimo internacional, Nicolas Julia, ele que é fundador e CEO da Sorare, um fantasy global que usa blockchain e onde as pessoas podem jogar um esquema de fantasy normal. Ele vai mostrar para a gente como que funciona hoje, mas que usa blockchain para que as pessoas possam comercializar os cartões, os cards dos jogadores. Eles têm acordo com diversos dos clubes importantes do mundo inteiro, e a gente está recebendo ele aqui para conversar sobre essa empresa e sobre a carreira dele também. So, Nicolas, first of all, welcome to Enzima. It's a pleasure to have you here with us. I would like to start asking you to tell us a little bit about your career before starting Sorare and your involvement with sports. Welcome.
Thank you, Felipe. Thanks for having me. It's a real pleasure. I met with my co-founder Adrien in my previous company, which was already a blockchain startup. So we were the first employees, and we grew the company. Then we raised a big fundraising with investors in the US, like Nasdaq Ventures and so on. It was total 10 million euros. We grew again the company, and we left. It was mid 2018, so we saw an application of the technology in the world of sports. We are two huge sports fans, and we believe that it could bring something really new in the gaming space in particular. And maybe to tell you a bit more, so we are building a fantasy football game, leveraging cards, and these cards, they live on the blockchain. That brings them some cool features. And so, yeah, our belief is that first of all, there's a room to build a fantasy football giant. There's a leader in the video game space. It's Electronic Arts with FIFA. A leader in the physical collectible space. It's Panini with the physical cards. But there's no global giant for the fantasy football game. And so we believe that we could, build this company, and that the blockchain technology is the perfect fit to build it, because again, for the cards that you can use in the fantasy game, the blockchain brings the security, the authenticity, the digital scarcity, and the traceability. And I can expand on why it's important. But yeah, that's where we come from, and why we believe there's room to build something huge in the space.
That's perfect. So you mentioned blockchain, and before we dive into the game, I would like to talk a little about the technology, because blockchain is a technology that gained so much attention in the past few years, but a lot of people still don't understand how it works. And so could you give our audience a brief explanation of what the blockchain is? Doesn't have to be too technical, just a brief explanation.
Yeah, I don't want to make it too technical. So when I talk about the technology, I like to talk about the benefits, because, how it works in detail, like maybe for tech people, it's interesting, but for the football fans, for the owners of clubs and the leagues, what's important is what does it bring? Like, why do you use that and not like classical database or technology, right? So when I think about the benefits, I think about the digital scarcity. For me, it's fascinating because for the first time, we can collect something digital. So we have been collecting stuff for centuries, being cards, being stamps, being physical cards. But on the web, we can copy everything. We can copy the pictures, we can copy the documents. And so here with a blockchain card, you have the possibility to have something that is digital but is unique at the same time. And that is only possible because of the blockchain technology, because this technology has the feature to make something digitally scarce with a unique identifier, right? And so that's the first main benefit, digital scarcity. The second one is what I call traceability. The fact that we can follow the ownership of a card during the whole history of a card, and that is cool for the fans, but that's cool for the football clubs and leagues as well, because that means that when a card is resold, from you to me to my friend and so on, we can take a small cut, a royalty that we can pay back to the club or to the league. And that's something we are the first company to do. And that's because we are building on the blockchain technology that it is possible. When a card is resold, even outside of our platform, we can still track and take a royalty, right? So in terms of business model, that's really cool. So that's the second benefit, the traceability and the ability to pay royalties on secondary market sales. And the third benefit is the authenticity, the fact that we are sure that this card is owned by this person, and that it cannot be copied, and so on. So that's the third main benefit, right? And so the three combined makes something really, really compelling for the clubs, our partners, and for the fans, our users.
So you mentioned the benefits, but what are the challenges of building a game on a blockchain?
Yeah. So I would say the first and maybe the main challenge is the cost. I mean, I would say first the cost, and second the complexity, because so let's start with the complexity. So the technology is young. There's very few mainstream use cases, and that's why it's so like a bit complicated, because there are very few stuff that reach mainstream people. So there's very few developers that are able to handle this complexity and make it simple for the users, for the fans. And so if you want to make something simple and abstract all the complexity, it's a lot of hard work to make it happen, right? And you need very, very talented developers to make it happen. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is the cost, because as the blockchain, at the end of the day, it's a database, right? But a database that is validated by a lot of people. And these people, they don't do it for the sake of doing it. They do it because they can earn money from validating all this transaction, right? And so we need to pay them, right? And every time I mint a card on the blockchain, so let's say a card from Neymar, I want to mint to print on the blockchain number 1 out of 100, I need to pay for that, and that could be really expensive. Like last week was $20 just to print the card on the blockchain. So if I don't sell the card more than $20, I lose money, right? Yeah. So the cost is a huge thing. And we are taking it for us at the moment. We are lucky to raise two fundraising rounds, and we are profitable and so on. So we can take it away from, not make it a cost for our users, but assume this cost, and we are betting that it's going to move down over time, because the technology matures and the market matures and so on. But to answer your question, it's a challenge as well. So complexity and cost, but of course, if we are building that, we are pretty confident we're gonna solve this challenges.
Yes, and kind of is the cost of being an early adopter of the technology within the game industry, right? So you're kind of paying that cost too,
Exactly.
That.
Yeah, it's like building a website at the end of the 90s or early 2000. You need to build stuff yourself, like part of the whole stack you need to build yourself. So yeah, it's a challenge, but it comes with being a first mover, building something new, and creating a new market. And if you succeed, it could be huge. So.
That's perfect. That's perfect. So a lot of people think that blockchain is too complicated, that only crypto people can use it. So could you explain how is the user experience? Is it something that requires some kind of knowledge about that crypto world, or anyone should be able to play the game?
So for us, we want to onboard dozens of millions of fans on the game. So that was our goal from day one. And so, as I said, we abstract all the complexity from the user, meaning that even if you never heard about even the word blockchain, you can enjoy the game. And so you can, buy a card, a digital card with your credit card. So you don't need to own crypto previously. You don't need to create a wallet or, all that, very long and complicated process that you, on most blockchain games you need to do. So we do everything for you. So you just come, you have free cards to start. You test the game. If you like it and you want to buy like better cards, you can buy with your credit card. So it's really a smooth process. And so yeah, there's no additional complexity for someone that doesn't know about crypto.
That's perfect. So could you share your screen so we could, walk our audience through the platform to show them how it works, please?
Yeah, of course. So I'm sharing. Okay, this. Okay. So
Perfect.
you should be able. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So do you want me to show like a specific part of the platform, or?
I think it would be good if you could know if you were showing for a user that never went to the platform. So the first time that they enter the platform, what they have to do, and show how the game works, how you won your first free cards, how you enter leagues and challenges, all that kind of stuff, please.
Okay, excellent. So let's start with the gaming arena. I'm here, in the gaming arena, and explain quickly like how the game works. So we have a system of different leagues. So you can enter your cards in different leagues. So the All-Star League, you can enter with cards from everywhere in the world. So players from Argentinian, Brazilian clubs, European clubs. So it's really like the global game. Then we have a league for player under 23, and then we have regional leagues like America and so on. And so if you want to enter a tournament, so we have a system of divisions. So you can enter the fourth division, the third division, the second division, and so on. And so you would click on the division. You would see like what you can win for being ranked in this division. So the first position, you earn that card. The second place, you have this card, and so on. And then you can register your team. So it's a team of 5 cards, so 5 football players that you can enter, and so you need to select first a goalkeeper. So I'm going to select here a goalkeeper, then a defender, then I would go for a midfielder, and then I would go for a striker, and then you have a 5th position, so you can choose whatever you want. Then you select your captain, who will score extra points, and then you can validate your team for the tournament, right? So my team is now registered for the 4th division in the Global All-Star League for the tournament that will run between August 25 and 28. So there's still 1 day and 1 hour to modify my team if I want to do it. And then, so something that I cannot show right now, but during the tournament, so during the 3 days of the tournament, you have the real games happening on the pitch, and based on how the player will perform, they will score points for scoring goals, doing assists, and so on. And based on that, I will increase my position in the leaderboard and earn prizes. So that's the functioning of the game overall that I just shown here.
And you also have a section on your website where you explain all those how the players make points and all that kind of stuff, right? So people can know how they can earn points during those games, the real games now.
Yeah, exactly. So we have we just published a new scoring matrix to explain how the players score points. So we have a Medium blog with all the articles, and on this article, if you want to learn more about what are the statistics that we use, you can learn everything. We have a large deal with Opta, which is the main data provider in the football industry, and so we have a lot of data points that we take into account to score the performance of the player on the pitch. And then, so for every game, every player, we have a score between 0 and 100 that we are giving to the football player.
That's perfect. So I have a few questions about the platform itself. How are the cards valued?
Yeah.
You have three types of cards for each player, right?
Yeah. So yeah, we have at the moment we have even 4 type of cards with the common cards that are free. So basically, when you sign up, you get free cards. So I haven't showed it, but if you sign up, you will get the possibility to draft free cards. So to select with a fake budget, 10 free cards, so these are free. You cannot sell them. They are for you to test the game, right? And then for each player, each season, we will issue 111 cards. So let's take an example of Lionel Messi for the upcoming season 2020-21. So Lionel Messi will have the unique Messi cards with a specific design and specific power. Then the Messi super rare card, 10 editions, and then the Messi rare card, 100 edition, right? And then as we scale with more users, we can create new categories, 1,000, 10,000, and so on, so that we can reach more people, right? And the value of these cards, I mean the price of these cards, it's an open market, like art pieces, for instance. So we put them on at auction, and then it's the users, the demand that determine the final price, right? So like you can buy, for instance, a rare Messi for 12 euros, and then the price is not moving every day. Like, it's not stock option. It's not like a stock exchange. Sorry, it's more like an art piece or a car. If you want to sell your car, maybe you can sell it. No, a car is not a good example, but maybe an art piece is a better one. You can sell it for higher or for less. It depends on the demand. And for us, if the player, of course, is good on the pitch, there's a possibility for you to sell for a higher price, right? So it really depends on a lot of factors. The price of the card, like the scarcity of the card, how the player is doing on the pitch, the serial number of the card, the nationality, like this different stuff that have an impact on the final price at the end of the day.
That's perfect. But depending on the player, I don't know, maybe Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi, those huge stars, I believe that you have a pricing pricing point that is higher than the others, right?
Okay. So the price point, the starting price of the auctions, they differ by scarcity, but not depending on the player
Okay.
like starts, right? For instance, all the unique cards will start at around 100 euros. All the super rare cards will start around 10. All the rare cards will start around €1, and whatever the player quality on the pitch, it will be the same. But as it's an open market, of course, the best players will score more points on the pitch and maybe will sell for more. But the cool thing is the fact that you can scout like the young talents, and maybe as a football fan, that in your team you have this young prospect which is barely playing 10-15 minutes, but you see the potential, and so you can maybe buy for 1-2 euros, and hopefully then the guy develops, and you can make more points in the game, and maybe sell the card for higher price later on.
Yeah, that's perfect. So once I participate in the leagues, what kind of prizes can I win for participating?
Mm. So if you participate in the tournaments, you can win two type of things. You can win is, which is the in-game digital currency. So with this digital currency, you can buy more cards. Basically, you can buy cards with this currency or with euro, dollars, or whatever currency in the world with your credit card. And the second thing you can win is more blockchain cards that will help you compete and become stronger in the divisions and climb up the divisions.
Perfect. And Sorare also has a transfer market where users can buy and sell cards. So you don't have to play the games. You could be in the platform on the platform just buying and selling cards, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So basically, you can think about it as a fantasy football game with a real economy. So it's a fantasy game where you can trade freely your cards. And so as you said, we have the market. So maybe I can show again the market. So in this tab, new cards. So these are the cards that we are selling for the first time.
Okay.
So at the moment, you can see cards from CSK, like the Russian club that we are selling. So for instance, this card is. So I'm gonna click. So you are on the card page. So you can see that several people are bidding on the specific card. The current price is $5, and then you can see the scores of the player on the pitch, the power of the card. And so if you want more data about the specific player, you can go on the player page, and we have all the statistics from Opta, so that you can know more about the player. So that's what I call the primary market, the cards we sell for the first time at auction. And then cards can be bought or sold on the secondary market. So you can go to other managers to buy cards. So this is the secondary market. So for instance, you can buy this guy from Gimnasia La Plata in Argentina for $8. It is sold by this manager called RPG32, and so you can buy one click with the digital currency is or with your credit card. So that's basically the platform. And of course you can sort by price, by different number of things. You can filter as well by card scarcity, by position, by club. So for instance, if you want to see only Juventus cards, so you can click here, and so you would see only cards from Juventus Turin, and so on. So yeah, that's the basic functioning about the marketplace.
That's perfect. That's perfect. So I have a few more questions about the game itself. After a season ends, do you reassess the value of the cards?
So after a season ends, the beauty of the game is that you can still play the card in the game. So on most video games, when the season ends, maybe you have spent a lot of money in the game, but you cannot use your cards anymore. But here, you can still use the card. That's very important for us because the scouting element, the fact that you can go after the next star. So if you cannot use your cards in the next season, I mean, it's not really working, right? So the beauty is that you can still use it, and there's no impact on whatever. You can continue to use your card on the next season.
That's perfect. So, if a player that you have a card, if he's transferred to another club, and maybe it's a club that it's not on the platform yet, you can still keep using the card, even if let's just say we were talking about Messi. So let's just say that Messi goes to, I don't know, Manchester City,
Yeah,
and if I have a card from Messi in Barcelona, I can keep using that card, and
yeah.
the performance of Messi on Manchester City will influence on my performance on the fantasy game, right?
Exactly. So as long as the player is transferred to one of the top 20 leagues, So because we have the coverage from our data partner Opta for like the top 20, he's going to score points even if it's to a new club, right? So yeah, that's something that's really cool on the platform, I guess.
That's great. That's great. So, how many active users do you have today? Is this on track with what you were expecting?
Yeah. So in terms of active users, today we have, so it's still the very beginning in public beta. We have 4,000 active users today, and it has been growing much quicker than expected on our side, and we are making so in July it was 545 thousand euro a month of card sales. So these are users that are very engaged and very enthusiastic about the game. So yeah, that's very encouraging start for us.
And when did you launch the platform?
So the platform was on private beta during the second part of last year, and in December 2019 we started opening the public beta. So it has been a bit more than 6 months now. Still in public beta, but getting ready for onboarding the new wave of users. We already have 100 clubs under license with big ones like Juventus, Atletico Madrid, AS Roma, a lot of big names, and we plan to now onboard the full top European leagues, and we just announced a $4 million fundraising a couple of weeks ago in order to make it happen, and so yeah, that will hopefully help us to reach the next level.
That's perfect. So congratulations for the fundraising. The fundraising, not the fundraising. I spoke. So, do you have users in Latin America?
So yeah, we start to have a couple of them. So in Argentina, we had Gimnasia La Plata as a first club. So that helped us to gain the beginning of a user base there. We have in Brazil, it's very early for us. We are looking after the first partners in terms of clubs. So we started a couple of conversations, and hopefully in the coming weeks and months we have some good news, and we will start developing the market. For us, it's very exciting because in terms of football, of course, the level of passion and fandom that we have in the continent is just crazy, and for even for fans from Europe or from the US, you have some very strong young talents in these leagues, and so these are very, very interesting prospects, and we have a lot of questions about when Brazilian clubs, when Argentinian clubs, and so on. So yeah, hopefully we have good news soon.
That's perfect. So I have a doubt about how the clubs make money from the platform. You mentioned a little bit about it early, but do you license their brand and their players' images for a fixed amount, or do the clubs become kind of partners of Sorare and have a share of the revenue made through the platform? Could you explain us how that works, please?
Yeah, of course. So the business model is very traditional. So that's the part where we don't innovate at all. So it's licensing. So basically, we go to the club or to the league and we say, so we're gonna do three things. We're gonna give you money. We're gonna expand the visibility of the club or the league to new markets, Asia, US, and so on. And we don't need anything outside player pictures from your players. We don't need time. We don't need marketing. We handle everything. So that's something that resonates well because it's a kind of compelling offer. And in terms of financial offer, it's what we call a minimum guarantee. So we would pay something upfront, even before selling the first card. And then once this minimum is recouped, then we pay royalties at the sale of each card, right?
Perfect. That's perfect. So, what is your vision for the company for the next 5 years?
Yeah, so we have like the big vision of building kind of platform where the cards will be used not only in our fantasy game but in other games as well and other applications. And so we are already in touch with some of the biggest gaming companies in the world that are like thinking about how to leverage it and developing new experiences. So that's the very long-term vision. But in between, during the 12 to 18 months to come, we are going to onboard all the major leagues and clubs in the world. So we plan to have the top 20, and yeah, now we have the resources to do so. So that's very important, and that will enable us to reach the goal of reaching more users and developing the user base in general.
That's perfect. And do you have plans to have other games using the blockchain and the technology that you built? I don't know, maybe for other sports, basketball, or I don't know, tennis, or maybe even selling the technology that you built to third parties so they can use it too? Or is it something that is not on your radar now?
I would say that that's definitely like an interesting part of the longer term vision of having this ecosystem of different games. We believe that with football, it's billions of fans in the world, huge potential for us. So we want to be focused on that because we have a lot still to achieve in terms of partnerships and so on in the coming months. And once we have the level we expect in football, then we will go to other sports. We already have solicitations from other sports, but we can only say, look, it's early for us. Maybe we can consider sometime down the road. So it's definitely something that's of interest, but I want to make sure that we do like the right things at the right time, because it's not only to have the partnership, then developing the right game that is fun, that and making it live every day. It's a lot of work. So it's a matter of doing the stuff little by little, I would say.
Yeah, you are totally right. So last question now, Nicolas. What is the role that blockchain has in the future of sports, in your opinion?
Yeah. So if we try to, maybe take a step back from what me and my team are doing at Sorare, but with this game, I think that in general, blockchain is like kind of trust machine. So it can bring trust to certify to a fan that there's only 10 cards of this player, but also maybe for other use cases. We have seen the UEFA in Europe using the blockchain technology for ticketing, so to ensure the authenticity of tickets. And it was not just an experiment. They sold tickets to fans using this technology. So that's a nice move in that direction. We are seeing other nice use cases for club digital currencies. So Socios, for instance, in Latin America, is partner with Independiente, I think, and so some top European clubs in Europe. So that's another use case, because blockchain is also the database for digital currencies, and so building club digital currency on that platform is I think a nice use case as well. And so there's like many other applications, but I would say that the common word between all of them is trust. So transparency, authenticity, security, that is brought either to the fans or to the leagues and the clubs.
That's perfect. So, Nicolas, thank you so much for being here and sharing your knowledge with us. I would like to give you space to send our Brazilian audience a message now.
We would love to partner with Brazilian clubs. We'd love to expand as well our user base there. So we have, for instance, an ambassador program. So with different countries, different cities. So if you're interested in either like partnering with the company to bring exposure to your club or discovering the game as a fan and maybe partnering with us as an ambassador, we are very interested in connecting. So just reach out, nicolas@sorare.com, and we will be in touch.
That's perfect. Nicolas, thank you so much. I will speak a little bit in Portuguese now, all right?
Thank you, Felipe. Very nice to meet you.
Yeah, me too. So, pessoal, aqui esse foi o Nicolas Julia, ele que é o fundador e CEO da Sorare. Como vocês viram, é muito legal a plataforma, né? Um global chain, um fantasy game global, usando blockchain, onde vocês podem comprar cards de diversos jogadores, e como ele falou, ele já tem acordos com mais de 100 clubes importantíssimos de todo mundo. Então, eu recomendo, eu sou um usuário lá também. Para quem quiser conhecer, basta entrar no site deles. Eu vou colocar o link aqui nessa descrição. Vou colocar também o e-mail do Nicolas aqui na descrição para quem tiver interesse, se você trabalha em algum clube e tiver interesse de entrar em contato com ele, para vocês poderem fazer isso. Antes de eu me despedir, só lembrar a vocês que toda terça e toda quinta, aqui no canal da Pluri, às 16 horas, receberemos profissionais relevantes do mundo do esporte e do entretenimento, como o Nicolas, para a gente falar sobre inovação, tecnologia, startups, mundo digital, e depois essas nossas conversas aqui viram podcasts nas principais plataformas de podcast. Então, muito obrigado a todos vocês pela audiência e até o próximo episódio. Tchau, tchau.